lesson is going to be all about how to label your sides and start to put numbers into your calculator to work things out. Now, last lesson we looked at trigonometry and how it's all about the relationship between sides and angles. So if you make an angle bigger, it's going to affect the side that's opposite that angle, and also the hypotenuse. You'll have to make a longer ladder to get higher up the wall. That is basically the explanation of trigonometry. So if you want to have a really nice, get up high up a wall, you're going to need a longer ladder. If you put a ladder too close to the house, and it's basically like a cliff climbing up, it's going to be dangerous. So if you put the bottom of the ladder too close in, you'll also be very dangerous and might fall over. So sides and angles all work together. Now these are the three ratios that we have. The sine of an angle, now I use that symbol, that means theta, because it just saves you putting any numbers in. You can use an x or anything you like, really. Sine of theta is the opposite side over the hypotenuse. Cosine of the angle is the adjacent side, the next to side over the hypotenuse. And the tangent of an angle is the opposite side over the adjacent. So it's all about which side you choose is which. So here are my three actions. So this first one, because we're talking about the angle of 30 degrees, the side that's opposite that 30 is called the opposite. Label it on there. The hypotenuse, straight across from the 90 degrees, is always the hypotenuse. It's never the adjacent. Even though it is actually right next to that 30, the adjacent side is here. Now, which side is the question? The question, x, has got to be in there. So we need to definitely use opposite. The side that we have, and we've got a number for, is the hypotenuse. We have to use that. So we're not going to use the adjacent. We're going to use opposite and hypotenuse. Come back up to your ratios. Which one is opposite and hypotenuse? Yes, it's sine. So let's write that onto our diagram. We're going to use the sine of our angle equals opposite over hypotenuse. And we'll come back to that in a moment. Deciding is the main part of the problem. Let's look at the second triangle. So our second triangle here, well, x in this case is straight across from our 90, so x is the hypotenuse, isn't it? The 12, is the 12 adjacent to our angle, or is it opposite the angle? Well done, it's adjacent. And opposite our angle is over here. We've got no numbers on there, we've got nothing, it's not our question, so we're not going to use it. So we are in fact going to use adjacent and hypotenuse, which is, which rule? It's the cosine rule. So in our working, we're going to write down that the cosine, I'm going to shorten it, the cosine of the angle, cos of the angle, is adjacent over hypotenuse. My dodgy writing, it's hard to film and write at the same time. Right, so our third triangle, what are we going to use? So we've got our angle, which side is the hypotenuse? Opposite our 90, the hypotenuse is here, isn't it? 4.8, is that adjacent to our angle, or is it opposite the angle? Well done, it's adjacent. So that's the adjacent side, and the x, our question, is the opposite side, isn't it? So which of our rules uses adjacent and opposite? There's no point using the hypotenuse because we don't have a number for it, and it's not our question, so who cares? So up here, the tangent ratio is opposite over adjacent. So that's where we'll use the tangent of the angle equals opposite over adjacent. That's the main question, is how to decide, do I use sine or cos or tan? Heaven only knows. Well, now you do as well. Alright, stay watching for another lesson, actually typing those numbers in. But really that's the easy bit. Once you've made the decision, you just have to put the numbers in. But I'll do some examples in the next lesson.